We've got Congressman Kevin Brady on the line, Republican from Texas' 8th Congressional District. He's the chairman of the Health Subcommittee for the House Ways and Means Committee. And there was an exchange that he had with the IRS commissioner that we just felt like we needed to talk to him about. He's on the line now. Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning, Larry. How are you doing?
This is Brian, but good morning.
Brian, I'm sorry. Thank you.
That's all right. Listen, I want you to set up what was going on and the line of questioning that you were having, and then I'm going to play the clip. So tell me what you were trying to get at here.
This was at the tail end of the hearing about what's the second year for the Affordable Care Act. Obviously, a lot of it's not ready. And one of the cases, look, if someone got a subsidy that they weren't eligible for, the law says you've got to pay it all back. But there's some rumors out there that the Treasury and IRS won't actually do that. So I was asking the commissioner a simple question. In that case, someone's not eligible, and the law is clear. They have to pay it back. Will you follow the law? This was actually at the very tail end, assuming that they would answer yes.
Okay, but that's not exactly what happened, and here is exactly what did happen. Listen closely.
Somebody's ineligible and has received a credit, they will be treated the way anybody else would be in our compliance process.
No. The question was the law in that case. There is not a cap. All of the subsidy must be repaid. Will you be following the law in that recapture?
Yes. Wherever we can, we follow the law.
Whenever we can. I encourage you to follow the law in all instances. And I had so many things going through my mind at that point.
So here it is one more time, the soundbite that everybody's talking about.
Yes, wherever we can, we follow the law.
What were you thinking when you heard that?
I was incredulous. And that's why I apologize for laughing. I just was stunned that he said that and couldn't believe, here's the IRS commissioner who, if you try that in your tax audits, whenever we pay our taxes or try to follow the law, you know where you're headed. And it was, given the background, the IRS didn't follow the law when they targeted conservative organizations and their donors. They didn't follow the law when they leaked that information, private taxpayer information, to others. They certainly haven't followed the law in enforcing the Affordable Care Act at all. And so here's the head of the IRS with the power to destroy families and lives saying, whenever possible, we try to follow the law.
And they're not following the law, by the way, in cooperation with the Inspector General over there.
Absolutely not. And that's why you hear the laughter in the background. Literally, everyone was getting up from their seats. This was at the end, and everyone just froze because in that hearing room, no one could believe what we were hearing.
Yeah, can I, Congressman, attempt to give him the benefit of the doubt and ask you, in your opinion, was he joking? Was this an ironic statement?
No, he this is not a joking man. He is, frankly, I think he leads the most corrupt and deceitful IRS in history. There's good people there, that agency, by the way, but he is not opening the books. He's not trying to root out the corruption, certainly not cooperating with our investigation. And so, no, he wasn't trying to be funny, unfortunately.
Well, then, Representative Brady, I've got to ask you, since you sit on the Ways and Means Committee, which is instrumental in working with the IRS, and you just believe that Mr. Koskinen, the commissioner, runs, as you put it, the most corrupt IRS that you're aware that you remember. Do you have confidence that he can fix the problems, or is it time for him to go? No,
I don't have confidence in him. I think the president ought to have a commissioner with the integrity and the independence. This commissioners in the past, and the Ways and Means Committee does have jurisdiction over this agency, have never been seen as Republican or Democrat because that agency does have so much power over us. This is the first time, since I've been in Congress and really in modern times, that we've had this agency turned into a political machine. And it ought to be, I don't care, Republican, Democrat, independent, libertarian, where you're at, you can't let any government have the power to silence your voices simply because you disagree with the government, and that's where we're at.
All right. Congressman Kevin Brady is our guest from the 8th Congressional District, a Republican district in the state of Texas. The president last night spoke about ISIS and the need to go after ISIS, even if you have to go into Syria with airstrikes. Your thoughts about what the president said?
He got some things right here. I think in the war on terror, I want this president to succeed. I think he finally acknowledged that ISIS is an imminent threat, even though he's been denying it for almost 2 years now from the early warnings. Secondly, he made the case there is a window now and that we could lead a coalition. I think he got all that right. He's really tiptoeing into Syria. But the truth is, if you're really going to destroy that organization, they're spread out in a long crescent. You've got to be aggressive in both Syria and Iraq. The other thing is, look, I don't want boots on the ground either, but you don't take any options off the table. Certainly, you don't become predictable, and so and again, I think we've got security, Iraq security, Kurds. I think you've got maybe 10,000 or more moderates in Syria. That could be the boots on the ground, along with the Arab League support.
You say he's getting some things right, but it was just a week ago he said he had no strategy.
No,
it wasn't long ago that he said that ISIS was a JV team. What's driving him? A real feeling that there's a problem that needs to be resolved here, a national security threat, or the poll numbers?
Regrettably, it's the poll numbers. 38% approval rating. People disagree with where he's on the border, his leadership in the country. They feel less safe than they have before, and for good reason. And look, he doesn't want to be a wartime president, but that's the point. No one does. No one wants to be a wartime president. But this attack this threat is real, and so no, I think he's come dragged, kicking, and screaming to this point. But we've got to get it right going forward.
Representative Kevin Brady, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having